Hello and welcome back to It's Not Complicated. It's been a while. It has been a while. It's been about a month since I recorded the last episode, maybe a little less than that. But listen, my name is Coach John. I'm the founder of Simple Disciplines Coaching and the creator of the Simple Disciplines program. If you're listening to this show, that means you are in the top 1%. You realize that you have some untapped potential in your life. No matter how successful or unsuccessful you've been thus far in your life, you realize that you have something more that you are wanting to tap into. And listen, it's been a while since I've created another episode. I think it's important, and I'm gonna start doing this from now on. I'm gonna do like in batches, not necessarily like seasons where I take a lot of time off. But listen, I have a couple episodes lined up. I have a couple episodes planned out, and I think it's important for someone like me, who I am not a perfect person, and this is not the way I make a living. This podcast, it actually technically costs me money to do this podcast. So make sure to help me out and to help out someone else. If you get anything from this episode, make sure you share it with your friends, with people you know, with colleagues, so you can help bring people into this community and we can all grow together. I think it's important for someone like me who is helping other people, I really want this podcast to have sustenance, okay, to really have something you can apply to your life that I also applied to my life. I think it's important that I take some time every now and again to like really think about some episodes, so I'm not just really putting out BS, okay? And I've been like in a couple different like transitions with some things with school, with some developments with my business, and with just life. Okay. So I don't want to come on here be flat. I don't want to come in here and give you nothing. If you're going to take time to listen to this episode, I think it should be worth something. I think it should be worth the 20 minutes. I think it should be worth 30 minutes to listen to, because your time, as well as mine, is valuable. And I want to make sure that you are getting the most out of it. Today, we are going to be talking about foundation. Okay. And this episode really applies to anybody who is, like I said at the beginning of the episode, trying to unlock some untapped potential. You have some long-term goals and you're in a process, or you're about to start a process, or creating a system or in a system for you to reach your long-term goals. And when I first start talking about the topic, you're going to be like, how the heck does this translate? Okay, listen, I'm someone that I enjoy being outside. In the Marine Corps, I was outside all the time. Okay. I have seen sunrises and sunsets in about every climbing place in the world you can think of. Jungles, mountains, desert mountains, piney wood mountains, oceans, deserts, freaking little islands, big islands, during a storm. I've seen storm come in over horizons in about every climb or place in about 3 different continents. Okay, I'm in about 8 different countries. And every time I see an amazing sunrise or an amazing sunset or a really awesome storm coming in over the horizon, especially here in West Texas, man, it's so flat. You can see for miles and miles and miles. You can see a storm rolling in. And it really reminds me of God's power, his creativeness, of God's ability to just show off how good and great he is. And I was thinking about it a few Sunday mornings ago. I was up early. I was in the parking lot of the gym before church. And I was looking at the sunrise. It was a frosty morning. It was about 25 degrees outside. There was frost on everything, and the sun was coming up. It was only a little bit cloudy, so you had some of that like colored in the clouds, you know what I'm talking about? But the sun rays were pretty uninterrupted and reflecting off of the frost, and it was like a perfect balance of like oranges and blues and all this other stuff. And I was like, wow, this is really amazing. I just kind of sat in the parking lot for a minute. And I was thinking about what I just said about every time I see a sunrise or a sunset or something amazing in nature, I go back and think about how big and powerful and good God is. And then it kind of dawned on me. God is not in that moment painting that picture. God was not up in heaven that Sunday morning like, yo, let me paint this picture real quick over West Texas. At least I don't think he was. In the beginning, when God created the earth, it says in Genesis, God created the earth. He created light. And ultimately, you can gather that God created the earth that spins on an axis, that orbits around the earth at a tilt, that creates seasons. And thus we get sunrises and sunsets. We get a moon at night that lights up during the nighttime during certain moon cycles. We get tides in the ocean. We get the reason why you see those colors in the sunrise and sunsets. There's a myth that it's from pollution. It is not from pollution. I promise you, it is not from pollution. This is physics, okay? Light refracts in the atmosphere. It bends, and when it bends, you get different colors because when the light comes from the sun, it hits the Earth's atmosphere, which is round. It is not flat, okay? It is round, and it causes light to bend because of gravity, because of like bouncing off things, because of hitting things in the atmosphere. I don't know everything about the atmosphere, but I know that we get colors because of the way the atmosphere is. And so if you were to go to the moon where there's no atmosphere, you're not getting those other colors. That's why if you see those pictures on the moon, it's just one color. Okay? You tracking me so far? Good. Cool. So, God was not that Sunday frosty morning creating the frost, creating the sun to where it is going to refract light, or he's not painting those pictures in the sky. He created a system thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago that was perfect, and it will operate the same way every single day within seasons, every morning and every night. The sun's going to rise, sun's going to set, unless you're like at the poles or whatever. And every morning, every night, you're going to get those colors. Every sunrise, every sunset, you're going to get those colors. And sometimes you get that cool frost that I was talking about because of the way the moisture condenses and it's cold. And then if it's cold but the water's warmer than the ambient temperature, you get that steam that's coming off the ponds that you see sometimes in the morning that makes for a cool effect. He didn't like paint that in that moment. You kind of see where I'm going with this? He created a system from which the earth and our world that we live in operates on a perfect system that has been operating that way perfectly and creates these beautiful settings we see, that creates these beautiful environments we see, that shows us this powerful nature that we can witness. The storms, tides, animals operating in nature, tornadoes, hurricanes, etc. You see what I'm saying? He created a system from which the earth is going to do those things automatically, uninterrupted for the most part. And it's been doing that for thousands of years. Ever since it rained, and when Noah built the ark, it rained for the first time. I believe that's how it goes. I could be incorrect, but I am pretty sure I am correct to say that the earth did not rain a single time before Noah built the ark, which is why if you read the Bible and the story when Noah built the ark, people thought he was crazy. Like, what do you mean it's going to flood? They didn't know what rain was. Okay? So ever since it rained, that sparked a cycle from which we get the water cycle. Okay? Water comes down from the sky. It pulls up. It runs off to places. It evaporates into the sky as a gas from the sun because it heats it up. And I think wind plays a part of that too. And then from the sun, evaporating it, then it gets in the sky, becomes a gas, and then it condenses into clouds, And when it condenses enough or whatever, or heavy, or however the next part works, it turns into rain. And then it goes over and over again. See, it's another cycle within a cycle. And it uses the other systems and it uses the other cycles in order to make that work. Okay? Y'all tracking me so far? I'm alone in a room talking to the microphone, so hopefully you're tracking me. Okay, so God thousands of years ago created the system of the earth, and then created another system, the water cycle. And within both of those systems, animals operate in the wild where there's a food chain that will always self-correct unless they're acted upon by like humans or something, right? What I mean by that is let's just take wolves and deer, or wolves and rabbits is a little bit easier. Let's say wolves eat rabbits, okay? Wolves eat too many rabbits, there's not enough food, so then the wolves will thin in population, but then as the rabbits begin to bounce back, because there was less rabbits, there's more food for the rabbits to eat. They'll repopulate a little bit more quickly, right? And then eventually, the rabbits will become overpopulated, less food for the rabbits. They'll thin out a little bit by themselves, but at that point, the wolves, there'll be more food for the wolves, and then the wolves will bounce back in population, and it just goes back and forth. That was a really basic little equilibrium I just presented to you there. But you get the idea. So within the Earth system and other systems within the Earth, there is more systems amongst the animal kingdom, and some of them run parallel, some of them cross over each other. Sometimes the food pyramid, the food chain is not linear. Sometimes they refer to a food web, which is a bit more accurate, right? Where you have multiple different, it's not as simple as wolves and rabbits and grass or whatever the rabbits eat. It's like wolves, birds, rabbits, spiders, insects, like it's all over the place, right? Fish, bears, it's all interconnected within an ecosystem. But yet that cycle in itself, if uninterrupted by humans, because we mess everything up, is perfect. It's always going to balance out. And I want you to think about how God created this foundation of a system thousands of years ago and just apply it to your life. Yes, is it a complicated system? Yeah, sure. Is this show called It's Not Complicated? Yes, that's why we're going to make this a little bit easier for yourself. Because sometimes it really, the science and the way God does it is so complex. However, the way you're going to apply this to your life is not that complicated. Okay? So listen up. You're going to create a system for yourself that can be repeated every single day for the rest of your life. You're like, well, that sounds difficult. It's not difficult. You already do it. We're just going to refine it. You already wake up every day and you already go to sleep every day. Just put a time limit on it. Wake up a little bit earlier. Go to sleep a little bit earlier. When you wake up earlier, you're able to go to the gym before work, or go to the gym before you got to do some tasks for the day. Boom. Just right there, you've accomplished two things. One, because you determined when you're going to sleep or when you're going to wake up, you already have a system from which you are going to not only acquire sleep, but you're also going to allow you enough time to go to the gym to take care of your personal health. Boom, there you go. I can already tell you from experience of doing this coaching business for a year and a month today, actually, that all of my clients, every single one of them, as soon as we started putting some parameters on from which they are going to take an effort to go to the gym in the morning, which most of my clients decide that going to the gym in the morning before they tackle the rest of their day is the best time to do it. There are some circumstances from which, if it's like a single mom, for example, they have a certain time, but that time is a non-negotiable. 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. or whatever, she was at the gym, and she still does it, even though she hasn't coached with me in about 4 months now. Every single day, the system's stuck, and she still sticks to it because the system she got so ingrained with it, and she saw so much progress with it, she keeps going it unfazed, okay? When you go to the gym early in the morning, you take care of your physical health, your physical fitness, you are automatically, by default, a little bit more Let's just say you have a little bit more mental clarity and a little bit more mental availability. Well, you think, well, that might get me tired for work. Well, it might at first, but once you start building up your body and building up your mind and getting used to that sleep cycle, you're going to be head and shoulders above your peers that don't do what you do. And also think about this. Think about the mental edge you get knowing that everybody else in your office or everybody else at your workplace or everybody else at your school place, everybody else in your classroom, whatever, didn't do that. And I'm not saying that like you're a better person than those people who don't, but like kind of just joking. But you're setting yourself apart already as a person. And because you are setting yourself apart, you're going to open yourself up for promotion. You're going to open up yourself to allow you to accomplish more throughout the day because you've already done it in the morning. That's a really simple system, right? It's not complicated. Just get up. Just wake up. You set your alarm. You're going to be tired? Awesome. That's great. Go to the gym tired. You're going to like maybe have to do a couple of things to set yourself up in order for you to be efficient with your time, in order for you to, go to the gym, get back home, get dressed, get changed, and go to work. Okay, yeah. That's kind of part of it. That's kind of part of the simple discipline, is all the little things it takes for you to get in order. But guess what? Now you kind of starting to see that you're mastering the art of thinking ahead, which a lot of people can't really do. They can't think a process all the way through. A lot of times people make plans, and I see this a lot, but they don't think of, okay, here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, but they don't think of step 1.5, or the bridge between step 1 and 2, or the transition between step 2 and 3, or what it means if step 4 is complete, or like what is mission accomplishment, right? That people don't really always put those things together. But if you start doing it within your own life and things that you can control, you begin to practice those techniques, those little skills, those little disciplines in order for you to kind of create a process and know when you are done with that step, what it takes to go on to the next step. Okay, you might be thinking, well, John, we're just talking about waking up early and going to the gym. No. Like it's a start. It's a system. Remember when God created the earth? And he created the day and the night. How simple is that? But how many little things go into that simple thing? It's a lot of little things. The Earth's got to rotate on an axis. I don't know if it has to rotate on an axis. I don't remember the science behind the axis. You know how the Earth is not straight up and down. It's tilted at like 23.3 degrees or something. The Earth it rotates. But then not only does it rotate, it goes around the sun. It orbits the sun, which creates seasons. And because the Earth is tilted, there's different intensities of the seasons in different parts of the Earth and different seasons at different times. Okay? It's that system that's still repeated today. It just happens. And you probably don't even think about it every single day. Every single day. Up until until you listen to this podcast, I bet you have not thought about how the Earth is a rock spinning in space around the sun for days or weeks or ever. At least when you're listening to this, I bet it's the first time you thought about it today. Right? You're creating a system within yourself that can be replicated every single day consistently for forever. And because you created that system, you're gonna make some physical fitness goals, and you're gonna repeat that process every single day, and to accomplish those goals. Then it's like, well, I want to accomplish something else, not fitness related. Let's just say I want to accomplish getting promotion in my business. So you have a conversation with your boss or your manager, whoever's in charge of giving you a promotion. What does it take for me to get promoted? I don't know why people have this like weird thing of like talking to superiors, by the way. If your superior cannot give you direct instructions or direct feedback or direct, let's say, certain wickets you need to hit to get a promotion, you're probably at a dead-end job. I haven't worked really any real office jobs, but from being around and associating with managers and bosses and helping people start businesses or run businesses, you're probably at a dead end job. So you're gonna talk to your boss. What does it take for me to get this promotion? Okay, so he gives you these goals to hit. Maybe you do have quarterly goals. I know people who have quarterly goals. So you set these goals out. Bam, these are my goals I need to hit by this day. And then you're going to plan backwards. Okay, and then once you go, like let's say step 5 is goal complete. Step 4, step 3. Okay, what do I need to accomplish to get step 5 done? Okay, in order for step 5 to be done, what needs to happen in step 4? What do I need to get to step 4, step 3? That needs to be this, and to get to that point, I need to establish step 2. You see what I'm saying? You're planning backwards. Okay, I can create a whole. If you have questions about planning backwards, message me directly at Simple Disciplines on Instagram, or respond to the poll about this podcast episode. It'll say like, "How'd you like this episode?" or something. So then, once you lay out the goals, you need to create a process for you that you can repeat every single day until the deadline to reach those goals, your quarterly goals or yearly goals or whatever those goals it is, whatever the goal is, that you can repeat to constantly make little steps every single day in order to accomplish those goals, right? And because you already have a system within yourself, right? You already have the general system of I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to go to the gym at this time, I'm going to work at this time, I come home at this time, eat my meal at this time, read a book or watch whatever system you have in the day. You know that you can do the same thing and apply it to work. Okay? After I get to work, I'm going to lay out my cold calls if you're in sales. I'm going to lay out my client calls if you already have established clients. I'm going to usually businesses require selling something, so you're probably somewhere on the chain you are selling, or you're closing, or you are setting up appointments, or you are rendering services. So, okay, I'm going to lay out what my today's goals are as far as what I'm going to accomplish, and I'm going to accomplish those things. And then tomorrow, on Tuesday, I'm going to be able to do this. And on Wednesday, I'm going to be able to do this. See what I'm talking about? You're creating a system within your daily life system. There's a lot of micro processes that you can establish within your system of life. When I say system, I mean like your cycle of every single day. And on the weekends, you're not going to go out and party because you have bigger goals in mind. On the weekends, you're not going to blow your money because you have bigger goals in mind. You're going to save your money. You're going to invest your money. You're going to invest your money into yourself by paying for coaching from people, or paying to invest in your own business. You're going to use your money wisely. You're going to save so that when you do go out on your own, if you are starting your own business, you're fine, you're good. Or you know what I'm saying? You're not just wasting a Saturday and a Sunday or whatever days you have off. Once you kind of identify where you want to be and you create those systems and you create those processes, you automatically start using your time more wisely by default. It is like impossible, unless you're just really bad, really, really bad at holding yourself accountable, then you really don't want it. You don't really want it that bad. Unless you think you're just so good that you can Monday through Friday do this and live your life this way, and then Saturday, Sunday, you can be a completely different person. Unless you think you're so good. But I promise you will get outworked by somebody in your field, or by your competition, or by a peer. And sometimes your peers are competition. Sometimes your colleagues are competition. It can be a friendly competition. Sometimes people have like competition as a bad word, or like it's like my teammates on the football team are that we do compete with each other. Sometimes for playing time on Saturday nights, and sometimes just within, like just doing drills, we compete against each other while we're training. And that's okay. That's actually good. It breeds a better product within ourselves. It breeds better players. It breeds camaraderie. So you have competition. If you're starting your own business, you're new, you have a lot more competition. Because it's not just, let's say you start a business and you're selling insurance or something, okay? Your competition isn't just the other companies. I mean, it is, but your competition's also the salesmen at those companies. So not only does the company want to outdo the salesmen within those companies, although they're wearing the logo, they're not really like the CEO, right? They want that sale because if you make the sale, then they can't sell that person, and they want to make more money. So if you start your own business in a field, your competition in whatever field it is, your competition is 10x what it was when you were just working for a company. Okay? Create a system, create a process within yourself that can be repeated consistently over your entire lifetime. And you'll be amazed on what goals you can accomplish. The foundation of the process that God created, the sun rising, the sun setting, is so perfect. It's so strong. It's never been interrupted. There hasn't. If you live anywhere but the poles, right? Like I talked about, it's kind of like Alaska or whatever, where they go like 30 days of night, 30 days of day, and even then, that cycle is repeated every year. The cycle has been perfect. There's never been one time where like, hey guys, the sun is like, it's gonna be like dark today, or hey guys, like the nighttime, it's not coming, right? If you live in the lower 48 states or the mainland United States, there's never been a time, ever, a single time, where they're like, hey, listen, you turn on the news, hey guys, listen, I know it's August, but it's crazy, but the sun's not coming up tomorrow. I know, hey guys, it got messed up. There's been a little interruption. There's been a glitch. It needs to do an update. No, it never needs to be updated. Never needs to be adjusted. The system never needs to be fixed. God created such a strong foundation that is unwavered since the beginning of time, since the beginning the earth was created. And listen, you might not be a Christian listening to this, and that's okay. I mean, it's not like, I believe that you will have an opportunity to give your life to God, and that's okay. As far as this topic, you don't have to be a Christian, but you can take the story for what it is, or you can look at the science for what it is and agree that of what I'm talking about as far as the science of everything goes. I had a buddy, this is kind of a little off topic, but I think it kind of relates to what I just said. I had a buddy in the Marine Corps who said, listen, he didn't say a lot of things. I'm not saying he's like dumb, or I'm not saying he's like an idiot. I haven't known him for saying super profound things like what I'm about to say, but it's stuck with me. And if you're listening to this and you're the guy I'm talking about listening to this, I love you, bro. Okay. He said, I look at God as the why and science as the how. Okay. And I don't know, it kind of just stuck with me because we were talking about science and how it relates back to God, and God created all these things, and then science, we've learned more about human bodies and the environment and things. It's like, so there's so many little details, like how can you not believe in God? But whatever. God is the why, science is the how. Okay. That was a little off topic, but listen, create a strong foundation for yourself that will be unwavered for the rest of your life. Your future you will thank you. Create systems for yourself that you can repeat every single day for your entire lifetime. Your future self will thank you for it. Discipline is not for you now, it's for your future self. Listen, I thank you for listening. If this show has helped you at all at any point, please message me on Instagram at Simple Disciplines. On Instagram at Simple Disciplines. You can just DM me directly. My DMs are always open. Also share with your friends. Text it, copy the link. Text somebody. Also hit 5 stars and hit that little bell so you know when the next episode will be uploaded. I should have one up in a couple of weeks. I already know what the next topic's going to be. And it's a good one. It's a little less in depth, or it's a more deeper topic that you can apply to yourself, and it's less religious talk. All right, if you're a little annoyed of that I'm talking about God, I'm sorry, I'm a Christian. God is the foundation for my life. So you're going to hear about it. All right. So make sure you share this episode with your friends. Tell other people about it. And that's it. Peace. See you all the next one. Thanks for listening.